Thank you for the follow. Elseed TX. Welcome to the stream. And I ran out immediately, just in the event that there was a zombie chilling by the door. We would shove the zombie, and we'd be safe at that point. Okay, we've already gone down this road just a minute ago. Just yesterday morning. Like I said, I do want to kind of wrap upstream with making town clear. I saw a zombie group over there. We're just going to... Well, we'll deal with them. We'll kill that group in the parking lot. Alright, this also is good timing because it looks like we're going to need to be heading back home soon anyways because we got severe thunderstorm coming. We see the air activity detected. That's still yesterday's. At least it should be. Because they've never had helicopters happen within a couple days of each other. There's usually like a good roughly week in between or more. Alright, that horde's done. Let's deal with the one back here in the parking lot. Oh, wow, that's much bigger than I thought. That's fine. We've killed way more than this so many times now. Like, Ellen sees this and she's like, eh. We call this Tuesday. Yeah, I'm convinced at this point, and I don't have like solid evidence to back this up, or you know, someone who's done the research better than I have, that I'm convinced that the air activity alert is 12 hours before to 12 hours after the helicopter shows up and leaves. That's not like based on the day kind of thing. Like all your other weather stuff, sure, but I think the helicopter has its own thing on how it deals with it. Because I have noticed I'll have a day where it won't mention the helicopter in the morning even after 9 o'clock, but then the helicopter will show up way later in the day. And I have noticed the day after the helicopter arrives, I've also seen it show up, so something is different about the helicopter. Oh, before I forget, the prediction's over. We didn't take an injury, the helicopter left, and then we went to sleep and we don't have an injury, so we can't die from the helicopter at this point. I mean, I think at this point, people just... The odds are almost always certainly in favor of me surviving, considering we're probably somewhere in the area of like mid to upper 20s of times we've had helicopters this run that we walked away from just fine. Not a single zombie injury. So, we've done good so far. You know, barring when someday I have like a helicopter show up and, you know, we're full on sleepy and full on exerted because I like mess up and I chop down a bunch of trees the day that, you know, the helicopter shows up or something like that. That's when it's like, okay, legitimately things might go real sour here. But honestly, even when the helicopter does show up and we don't expect it, most of the time we are still fighting it on my terms. Where I'm like, okay, we're fighting it here. And that's the way it is. I guess technically I should check this main road as well as the back road too on this main drag. Yeah, that's what I'll do, is I'll do the main road, I'll loop around the back road, and then I'll go down to the school road. Yeah, some poor helicopters had a full-time job checking in on me. Yep. So as you can imagine, again, we were at the absolute max zombie population in the game. And this is how our city looks now. Hence why I'm saying it's like, you know, just about ready to call this place cleared. We're finding a couple. The longest I've survived, period, was a bit over a year in apocalypse mode. That was way before I started streaming or anything like that. So I don't have any evidence to back it up. I couldn't tell you exactly how many days or kills or anything like that. Was on just base apocalypse mode. Killed a hell of a lot of zombies. Around 6 months into the run, about halfway through winter, I got to the point where I was like, oh, I can just, like, I have enough supplies, I can just survive winter and not have to worry about it. And for me, that's when the game isn't as exciting. Once you realize, like, the only danger you put yourself in is by putting yourself in danger because you feel like it. So I decided in that one I was just going to tackle them all. And I was still a fairly new player at that point. Being very relative on the new. Like, it's probably 200-300 hours. So I was like, yeah, we'll clear them all. I had respawns on and all that. Apocalypse mode is actually not that bad compared to Survivor. The biggest difference between Apocalypse and Survivor is Survivor mode you have multi-hit turned on, Apocalypse mode you don't. So you hit one zombie at a time. I don't know half the settings for Survivor mode, to be honest, but Apocalypse is supposed to be just a little bit harder than Survivor mode. Honestly, I don't think it's that, like, I think the multi-hit is probably the biggest difference. Because, like, with multi-hit, you get in the bad habit of just walking up to this group of zombies, swing, go for... Well, I mean, they're dying in one hit. Bad. Gotcha. But yeah, Apocalypse is hard, but honestly, a lot of that stuff I don't feel like makes... Like, to me, multi-hit's more impactful than zombie strength. In my opinion. Because multi-hit, you can just basically go up to a horde, slap the zombies. As long as they don't get too broad, you can just keep beating them down until you get exhausted. Alright, so we're going to take this back road, make sure it's clear. Not going to worry about the one in the hotel room. Yeah, multi-hit is huge. But that'd be like the biggest difference in my opinion. Most of the other stuff that makes it more difficult is like, you'd barely notice. But generally speaking, a lot of people use Apocalypse as kind of the grounding of this is like when you are comparing difficulties, that's your baseline. So you'd say, hey, like I want to play the game and I want it to be a little easier. Well, okay, I'm playing Apocalypse, but with, you know, whatever setting you've reduced to make it easier, like turned on multi-hit or whatever. Oh, as a tip for combat? So, I've gone through this a couple times. The first thing is when you get into Project Zomboid, you may want to go in and hit escape, go to display, or go to options, go display. Blood decals, these can hurt your performance if you just leave them alone too long. The idea is every time you kill a zombie, splatters blood. It can be a performance implication if you have tons of zombies or you live for a long time. So if you're having performance issues, consider turning blood decals down really low or off. The ISO cursor visibility, I believe at this point, does start at 50 or 75% by default. If not, I would recommend turning it up. I will show you what that is in a minute. Show cursor while aiming, simple enough. When you hold right mouse button, your cursor disappears. That makes it not disappear. That's a preference one. I will say if you lose track of your mouse while fighting zombies, you will probably die. But the big one, I would say more than anything else, is this aim outline that Foxmouse has alluded to. It starts on ranged weapons. I strongly recommend you change it to any weapon, and I'll show you what that is here in a moment. So if you watch with these zombies, when I get in range, a green outline will appear on them, showing me which zombie, and that's in range. So it's not in range, it's not in range, it's not in range, in range. But it's really helpful for a couple of reasons. Do I have a big vehicle here? Hey zombie, follow me. So a couple of reasons it's nice is one, you can tell when something's in range, so it's really nice to kind of get a feel for sometimes the ranges in the weapons can be a little confusing, like the meat cleaver is one that still kind of causes me trouble. Come on zombie, cooperate. I'm trying to test. But you can also see it shows through objects. So I can see that this zombie, like I'm going to stand out so it doesn't get back up. But you can see it shows through objects, so it's going to be very helpful because there are some things that fully obscure the zombie where my character would be able to see it, but me, the player, can't. And we've actually had 2 close calls with deaths on this character where green outline, if I was actually aiming, would have helped me. So that's useful. And also you see, if you stand a zombie, it stays pinned down as long as you're standing on it. I'm killing it. But it is good to have that for another reason. It also shows you which zombie you're going to hit, which is extremely helpful because sometimes the zombie you want to hit and the zombie it's going to hit are not one and the same. Oh yeah, and with that pinning thing, it also works if other zombies are standing on top of each other, which is one of the reasons you want to try and line up the zombies as much as possible the way you're facing as opposed to perpendicular, because then if I knock down the first zombie in the row and I'm backing up, all the other zombies will walk across that knocked over zombie, and that zombie won't get up until there's a big enough gap in their line for them to, you know, get back up. But what I'm saying is, you don't always know which zombie it's going to hit without that outline. So like, for example, let's say you have a crawling zombie coming at you, and you also have another zombie that you've knocked over in the same spot, and that zombie starts to get up. Now, in my opinion, the zombie you should hit is the crawler, because to me, the crawler is an immediate threat. That crawler is about to grab your ankle and cause you a bad day. The game, however, says, oh no, this zombie is in the middle of getting up. Hit that one. Now, I personally disagree with that assessment, because to me, that other zombie, the one getting up, is an imminent threat. It's not a threat right yet this second, but it will be very soon. Why am I going... Oh, let's kill those ones. I need to be going that way. No, actually, yeah. I need to be going that way till we loop around and kill more. So it is really good to be able to differentiate which zombie you're going to hit. And you can do that with the green outline. So, like, I would highly encourage that. And you'll have people who's like, but it ruins my immersion. Which, I mean, fair. But then at the same time, like, you run into a situation where we had the zombie back here. And there are trucks tall enough that you cannot see me or the zombie. That's like, okay, right. But my character walking up to a zombie directly in front of them and not being able to see it and then getting grabbed and died also kind of kills your immersion. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation. Danny's Dust says, in the next update, or maybe the next patch, they'll have the outline on by default for ranged. Step in the right direction. It should be on by default for any weapons. I was under the impression it was already on by default for ranged, and that the any weapon is the thing they should do. Now I could be totally wrong, but the point is, any weapon. That's what we want. Alright, we got a group of zombies back here. Let's kill them. But yeah, so it is... Like, to me, that is a huge thing, especially for just learning the ranges on stuff, because, like, some weapons, you're like, this should have really good range, and it has decent but not great range. And then you have other stuff they expect to have terrible range, and it's actually okay. Like, most of the weapons, when you see the swing animation, they feel about right. Like, for example, I have just mental difficulty that my mind refuses to accept the actual range of the meat cleaver. So, like... That's just a me problem. It's not like it's changed or anything. I just have difficulty getting my brain to be like, that's the range of the meat cleaver. Alright. It's funny being back here and remembering it's like, oh yeah, last time we were here, like... We killed several hundred, if not 1,000 zombies back here. And we've maybe killed like 20. If that. Like, that's probably being generous that we would maybe kill 20 back there. Like, right now. Okay, so we went around that way. So my plan now is to go down this way instead. So we're going in the north end of the school. Kill the zombies there. Then we'll loop back to the main drag. Because we went down, we came around. Hey, a bunch of zombies that were hiding in buildings. Cool, perfect. And then when we reach the west side, we'll just drive home after that and call the town clear. Oh, electrical pylons and substation? What would be the purpose of the electrical pylons and substations, if you don't mind me asking? Is it stuff that would, like... I mean, I wouldn't want them to provide power after, you know, power goes out. Like, to me, that would make... I feel like that'd make things too easy. We went along that road already. We didn't go along this bottom road. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. Oh, just aesthetics? That's fine. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Ma'am, don't ignore me. That's super rude. Like, I'm barely clearly, like, trying to grab your attention. You're like, not gonna walk to your car. I know you're yelling, but, you know, just gonna walk to your car. Well, looks like there's actually a decent number in that back room of the school. Not like a full horde, but like maybe 5 or 6. No, actually, that might actually be a full horde between all those different rooms. That's fine. We're here. We'll kill them. I also didn't like the way they all like, kind of teleport around because they're all trying to stand up in the same spot. That could have been dangerous. Want a hand with that? There. Window's open. I'm not breaking down those doors. That's too much effort. Oh, there you go. I thought you were going to take a little longer. I'll come back when you're not busy. Like, those are zombies I don't bother going into too much because they'll eventually bring down the doors. That's fine. Do they just break down both doors right now as I... No, it's just graphics. Okay. Also going to bring in small quality of life changes that cruise control will set the current speed instead of 5. Yes, I saw that, and that sounded really awesome. And one thing that they said they're going to do is they talked about making it so, for those who know at this point, I can just walk up to any body of water, like lake, river, stream, that kind of thing, and if I drink directly from it, even though it says tainted, it's safe. That's going away. So if you got in that habit, it's time to start trying to work on breaking it, because very, very soon, that's not going to be a thing you can do anymore. It will get you sick. It will get you killed. Which, genuinely, I believe is a good thing. Because, to me, that trivialized water in the game. Because if you lived near a body of water, you just didn't even have to worry about it. You didn't have to boil the water. You just right-click, drink, and you're good to go. You only boil the water when you want water you can carry with you. Forgot to adjust my mic after I stopped standing. That's a dead end. I didn't mean to go up this road. Oh, that'd be cool. I hadn't heard that. Like, I had heard they were working on all that. I just hadn't heard any type of ETA. I'm usually always hesitant to like give ETAs unless like they're like really firm or whatever on that, saying, oh yeah, this will absolutely be like Tuesday or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Just because, you know, as I say, with like that, you know, shit happens and you plan on something, then you find like a last minute bug and it derails everything. Let's see, what world, like what game settings would I recommend for beginners? Honestly, like just choosing base APOC or base survival, either is fine. Like I don't feel like there's a huge thing. Just because ultimately, when you're first starting at the very beginning, like you'll run into this one zombie, you'll get some hits in, maybe you survive the fight, but you'll get shredded. Just, you know, because you're getting the feel for it, you're learning how to aim stuff. And you'll notice I'm not actually aiming my mouse at the zombie. If you see where my ISO cursor is, I keep it behind the zombie at all times. Any mod to improve driving? I wouldn't say mod. I would say use your cruise control. If you hit Shift W, you increment up by 5 miles per hour. Shift S increments down by 5 miles per hour. And then tapping the brake stops it. Just using your cruise control will keep you from wrapping yourself around a tree super fast by just flying down the road going 70-80 miles per hour. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of people who they'll try and keep the mouse like directly on the zombie. And like this is also true for a gun. If you sit here, for example, if I'm standing here and I have a gun and I'm aiming this way, like that's nowhere near the zombie, I'll still shoot the zombie because that's the closest zombie in that direction. So you don't have to like put your mouse on the zombie to shoot it or whatever. So that'll help a lot. But yeah, cruise control will absolutely help. You can also take Sunday Driver. The downside of Sunday Driver is it will make towing stuff harder. But the plus side is it keeps you from, like, again, flying down the highway at 70 miles per hour, which is when, again, you try and take a corner, you don't quite make it, and you slap into a tree. You'll find I almost always have my cruise control on, which is the same thing, like I almost always walk.
Gonna dip out. Have a great stream and weekend, Rule.
Thank you so much, Ennis Dawson. Thank you again for dropping those biddies. I always like having you around. Really appreciate it. How do you activate cruise control? If you hit Shift W here. So I've got it off right now. When I hit Shift W, it'll turn on. You can tell it's on by the fact that the number turned green. And hitting Shift W again will like increment up. I'm just going to deal with the zombie real fast. And then Shift S will increment it down, again by 5 miles per hour. And then tapping your brakes, which is S, will turn it off. And if I ever get those controls wrong, I actually don't use a QWERTY keyboard, so all my buttons are different. But another thing is if you actually hold your mouse over the speedometer, it'll actually tell you how to do it. And ignore where mine's saying Shift plus and Shift O. I don't use QWERTY. So where your W and S keys are, I have my plus and O keys. I just don't use a QWERTY keyboard. But for QWERTY, it's Shift W, Shift S. But other things that'll help you when it comes to fighting zombies, and I go over most of this on here. So you'll notice even now I've gotten super juiced in my ability to fight. When I do a swing, I'll almost always back up. And the idea behind that is simple. If I swing and I miss, and I'm backing up, I'll kind of slip out of range. Yeah, no, Dvorak keyboard is the layout I use. It's the same thing as a normal keyboard, it's just my keys have different arrangement. And one of the nice things is I didn't have to change a bunch of shortcut keys because Project Zomboid is smart enough to go, oh, hey, there's your keyboard. I just recognize it. Here's the thing. And a lot of keyboards, or a lot of games, are being better about that nowadays versus they used to assume everyone is using QWERTY, which they shouldn't because there's a lot of different languages where other layouts are more common, like ASCII and such. For example, for people who speak Spanish and Portuguese. I think that Spanish and Portuguese use ASCII, or are likely to use ASCII. Anyways, thank you for the follow, Dayipod. Is that Dayipod? Dayipod. Welcome to the stream. And if I got that wrong, please let me know. I feel like I got that wrong. But yeah, so you generally want to back up. Dipod. Gotcha. Okay. And don't be afraid. Like, a lot of people, when they first start, you see them, you know, creeping around, trying to sneak past the zombies, being all stealthy-like. I actually think that's, that strategy is actually harder than just running up to zombies and smashing their face in. And I can explain why. So, imagine here we have a horde here, and then somewhere back here is a horde we don't see. So I go, okay, I'm going to sneak past these two hordes. Uh-oh, I've accidentally aggroed this horde in the back because I didn't see them. There's like trees in the way or whatever, and I walked in on them. So now I'm running away from them, and now I've aggroed all three hordes. So now I'm in a bad place because now I have like 60 zombies on me. Versus, if I walk up to the first horde, and I bludgeon its skull in with my crowbar, get my rest, get all shaped up, go for the next horde, bludgeon it with my crowbar, get all rested, do all that, and like systematically kill them one by one. Now, if I accidentally mess up and I go, oh, there's that horde in the back that aggroed an accident, I'm just fighting one group of zombies. And then plus, when you do that, you'll notice one of the things I'll try and do is when I'm fighting zombies, it doesn't always work out this way. I'll try and back up the way I've killed zombies that I know is, you know, should be clear. Generally speaking, I'll always try and fight in that direction. That way, the chance of me aggroing more stuff behind me that makes it so I have to like dodge around them and stuff is way, way less. Versus like, for example, if I pulled this group and I started fighting them down this way, I haven't cleared there in a long while. There's a good chance I'm going to go down that way and bump into another horde, and then, you know, what could be an easy safe fight becomes that much more dangerous, that much more tiring and exhausting. But you'll also see, like, it's very rare I stealth around. I'm walking around yelling for zombies, honking my horns, running sirens. Like, noise can get you in trouble. It can also be an incredible asset. Like, I would much rather fight the zombies now on my terms. That was weird. That sound is, like, all messed up on that one. Versus, like, have something happen where now I'm fighting zombies on their terms. Let's kill these last three. That's basically Riverside. You can absolutely use guns. You should use guns with purpose. Like, if you're just going to use guns to kill zombies faster, that'll usually get you in more trouble than benefit. But there are times. Okay, so once we push that means we got aggro. Okay. Yeah, if we have short blades and we push the zombie as opposed to stabbing it or executing it, it means there's another zombie of aggro on nearby. But yeah, like for guns, generally I'd recommend if you have aim of less than 2, only use shotguns. If you have aim of 2 or more, you can add 9mm and the 38 revolver to the guns you use. Those are pretty good. And then once you get over aim like 4, basically any gun becomes reasonable. But just know that guns, a lot of people refer to them as dinner bells because they are loud. And granted, they have reduced how far the range carries with the sound, but they do draw zombies to you. So if you use them, keep in mind you are going to be drawing the zombies around you, but that can be something you want. Like I said, sometimes making a lot of noise is what you're looking for. Like for example, usually the time I'll break out guns the first time in a round is when the helicopter shows up, because the helicopter is going to follow me around. It's going to draw the zombies to me anyways, so making a bunch of noise is pretty irrelevant. I'm already going to have a bunch of noise happening in my area. So I'll just use the gun to like practice, get some aim skill, kill a bunch of zombies. You know, helicopters already dropping them on my lap anyways, might as well. But using it as like your go-to weapons, one, you can't do it anyways because there's just not enough ammo. Like the guns aren't the problem, it's the ammo. And then the second reason you don't want to use that for all time is like if, for example, I'm pushing into downtown and I haven't cleared the surrounding area and I start popping off with a sawed-off shotgun, I am going to draw like 2 blocks away from me to my location, and that'll very quickly overwhelm you. No, helicopters do not drop guns. What I'm saying is if I have a gun and the helicopter shows up, I'll probably use it then, because the helicopter's super noisy. So worrying about sound while the helicopter's happening is pretty much a folly cause. And thank you for the follow, Lag Race. Welcome to the stream. For us, like, we actually use guns sometimes because, like, okay, I have a big area, like, say there's a bunch of trees back here, I know there's zombies in there, I didn't have a car handy, and I want to get the zombies out without putting myself in danger. Well, yelling doesn't quite carry far enough. Alright, well, if I'm killing the zombies with the shotguns, they're coming out of the trees. They will hear. But yeah, I think with this last zombie, we're going to call Riverside clear. Because I think we went through the whole town and we killed something like only like 30, 40 zombies. That's basically empty, considering these pops. And like I said, what we'll end up doing is, since we cleared this out mid-April, what I'll probably end up doing is sometime like June or July, we'll roll back on into town, wipe out anything that's moved in since then, and then we'll just call it cleared. Of course, I say that, and then there's 2 hordes directly on the way out. I mean, not really hordes. I do not want to be fighting this way, because I'm now backing up into a direction I haven't cleared, which can be dangerous. Oh, right, we're sleepy. So especially don't want to clear this way, so let's turn them around. We are 9 months, 12 days, and 11 hours in. Seemed like the sound fell behind. Oh, this is nothing. I mean, we've killed 41,000 zombies at this point. This is This is just a typical day. What the hell is all these zombies? We just rolled through here and there's no zombies here. Game, you want to talk about this? Oh, I'm out of water. Okay. We were just here. Where did they come from? Alright, I gotta deal with this drowsiness if we're fighting. Excuse me, zombies. Just taking my vitamins. Hang on. Yeah, no, it's fine. I just need my vitamins. Unfortunately, we can only... pretty fast. If you get to like full dehydration, you will die pretty quick. It's not like you die instantly, but it is pretty aggressive. I want to get rid of that tiredness, because normally I kill zombies in 2 or 3 hits with the hunting knife. With the tiredness, it's like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 hits. No, zombies don't steal cars. Yeah, so it'd take me way longer if we were sleepy still. As you can see, we're not drowsy or exerted. We just slice and dice. 2-3 hits a zombie and it's down. Eventually get down to 1 or 2 hits a zombie. I'm not quite there yet. Ah, boo, because they pushed a couple times, they pushed into exerted. That's okay. So that's like a 20-30% damage penalty, which is fine. We've already softened up most of these guys. It's like Project Zomboid is like, no, no, no. Riverside gets one last hoorah before it goes down. Alright, let's cut back across to where our car is. Eat our fish. I'm not playing with any mods that change gameplay in a meaningful way. I'm noticing we're having a lot of times where the sounds are cutting out, where it's not playing the sounds, and that does worry me. Like I'll engage and then you won't hear like the stabbing sounds and like it'll catch up, which I think is maybe we're having a memory issue just because of how long I've been playing, because I am playing longer than I normally do. Like normally I wrap up 4 a.m. EST, we're coming up on about 6 a.m. because I really want to get this done because it's a good milestone to wrap up the stream on. But most of the mods I have are purely like UI, cosmetic, quality of life kind of things. Don't meaningfully change gameplay. So like we see that hunting knife down, that's weapon condition indicator. It's just letting me know my weapons are getting damaged. Yep, normally I stream for about 11 hours a day. So we are going long by quite a bit, more than I intended. Ooh, it's coming up on 7 a.m. Eek. But I do want to hit this milestone. And plus we got good viewership. I am going for partner and all that. So want to kind of just keep riding it. Yeah, Night Owl, it's also partly strategic, if I'm being entirely honest with it. It allows me to be playing at a time that there's not as many people streaming. Like, you know, you get the people here in the US, it's getting kind of late for them to stream. It's usually pretty early for people in Europe to start streaming. Like, I have some that do, like, you know, they wake up and they start streaming, but for those who work and all that, it's before any of them will be off work to stream themselves. So it's not without a plan. That said, I am a night owl. Always have been. I hated the 9 to 5 work schedule so far as it just didn't clash with the way my brain wanted to work. Alright, I do think at this point we're not going to worry about, like, if we see more zombies, like, outside of Riverside at this farm, unless they're, like, really in their way, my way, or they have a katana or something else that, like, really I want, we're gonna just bypass them. Because our hydration situation is gonna be a problem. That said, I don't expect too much. Yeah, these are like just some zombies here out this farm. Like, I should kill them, but right now, one, I'm going, I really need to be asleep, and then two, this dehydrate, we're about getting pretty close to ticking down to the next level of dehydration, which will be a problem. You can find katanas in zombies, and you can find katanas in survivor houses, which are the houses that are all boarded up and everything. That said, they are pretty rare in both cases. So generally speaking, you're not going to find too often survivor houses. So you will find most of your katanas inside of zombies. Hey Lulu, how's it going? Go ahead and turn that off. Doing pretty good myself. Getting ready to call it night, not too long, so don't go anywhere though, because I will find us a raid for someone else playing Project Zomboid, who's doing a chill stream. Mostly we're just going to be wrapping up and getting back to our house, which, you know, can show that off real fast, getting our water, getting our food, getting all that sorted, and declaring Riverside as cleared. Alright, don't want to run to this. And just a reminder for everyone who's been tuning in from the various raids that, you know, from people I haven't met yet on stream and all that. If you're enjoying the content you like, we do play Project Zomboid 4 days a week. We spend 2 days playing RimWorld, and then we have a third game that we have the Other Games Day and all that. That Other Games Day we play, well, other games. I do not know what we'll be doing this Thursday for Other Games Day, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But if that all does sound good and you like the chill vibe and how we talk things through and all that kind of stuff, don't forget to drop a follow so you can find your way back here again in the future. Yep. The rate we're killing zombies is going up. No problem, Foxmouse. I do appreciate you hanging out. And on that note, thank you to everyone who has been lurking, who's been chatting, who's been tuning in, who's been following, subscribing to the bits, the hosts, the donos, the raids, all that good stuff. There's a lot of zombies on this road. We must have hit another time migration or redistribution triggered, so all the zombies are trying to fill in the areas we've cleared. That explains why I have so many zombies just in random places we haven't seen them in a long time. Alright, catch you later, Foxmouse. And I certainly will get some well-earned sleep, thank you. Yeah, so don't forget to follow just because, you know, it'll be difficult to find your way back here without it. You know, we got a stretch. So what I'm actually going to do for that stretch is I'm going to do that stretch after the end of the stream, because I'm really just trying to book it back to the house. But I'll stretch out of my way going towards bed and all that. I am surprised I haven't hit low energy, because usually it's around 11 hours or so that I start hitting like that low energy thing where it's like, okay, it's time to wrap. Because when you go low energy and you're streaming, one, you're not as entertaining for people watching, you can't pay attention to chat as much. And then games like Project Zomboid, that's how you die. You have that moment where you brain fart and you just walk up and hug a zombie, and the zombie's like, alright, I like free meals. And then you go, oh. But our main base is in Ekron, which is a small city in the middle of the map. I use that strategically for this run because it is the only place in the middle of the map where you have access to water, you have access to gas, and it's frankly just a nice little town. Yeah, the zombie's like, oh, free meal. And it came right for me. Even better. Like, this really is my day. Alright, we're getting close because this is the road that would take us to the country club, which we've already cleared. We've already cleared the factory warehouse area. We are declaring Riverside as cleared. We have cleared Ekron. So the next target is going to be Rosewood. I'm not sure if we're going to do the direct approach to Rosewood or we're going to stop off in a few places on the way there and clear them out. I haven't quite come to that decision, but Rosewood is the next proper target. I do think, where I have my list of like all the places I have cleared, I'm going to collapse where it says like the factory and country club. I'm going to just take those off the list and say Riverside. Yes. And I made the comment earlier that usually what I'll do is about every other month, every other month, I will circle back to the areas I've cleared and just make a bunch of noise as I pass through, see what you know shows up to deal with any zombies that have redistributed and migrated back into the area. Usually it's not much, usually it's only like 10-20 zombies that show up, but it's one of those things to keep it at just 10-20 zombies. Versus like we ignored South Ekron for 6 months and we had a helicopter come through and it's like, oh, there's like 200 zombies here, alright. Wasn't anticipating that in an area we've already cleared. So we'll keep doing that, but as we clear more and more of the map, and we are, you know, knocking the zombie pops down that much more, we'll see less and less of that where the zombies repopulate areas because there just will be less zombies to draw from to put there. Oh yeah, like honestly, I think people mistake respawn and migration a lot for what's causing them a lot of pressure with zombies. It's like, no, it's only a little bit of it's the respawn. So much of it's just nearby tiles just dumping zombies on you. Where it's like you have this entire, like especially when you're in the high pop areas like Louisville and over there by the mall, you'll clear the center area and you'll have like just that one spot clear. So all of the surrounding zombies that are trying to figure out a place to move to are like, oh, there's this big open spot in the middle here. Let's go there. And so you just feel like you're under siege from all sides because to a certain degree you kind of are. It's one of the reasons why a lot of these runs, the first month, 2 months of the game is just getting your foothold. Just clearing out enough of a circle around you that the zombies don't just immediately move in after you clear. Because like you'll actually watch as you'll kill a pack of zombies, and another pack of zombies farther back will just move in to take their place. Because of just that much pressure from the population trying to get them to all separate out. Alright, and our home is right here, where you can check out our wonderful flamboyance. Excellent. Everyone's a big fan of a flamboyance. And if you don't think you are a fan of a flamboyance, that just means you're wrong, and that you actually are a fan of the flamboyance, you're just in denial. Yep, and we got some garden gnomes. And we're just doing a lap around the gas pumps, because you should always do a lap around the gas pumps before you start refueling. Make sure you don't have any cheeky zombies waiting for your vulnerable moment when you turn your back. Because as you can see, I have no visibility behind me right now. My visibility to the sides is kind of crap because of the gas pumps. Like, you're very vulnerable when you're pumping gas. That can all stay in there. I don't actually care about any of that. That's fine. Honestly, I don't have anything here I need to get rid of. How are you doing, generator? You doing alright? Yeah, you're doing fine. Keep up the good work, buddy generator. Okay, so none of these are ready for harvesting yet. Oh wait, carrots are ready for harvest? I'm not doing that right now. That's fine. That's a tomorrow problem. So top off our water. And I always put one water bottle in my main pouch and one in my backpack. That way I'll notice, oh, hey, I suddenly seem to be getting slightly dehydrated. I know I'm already halfway through my water and it's time to go, all right, now is the time that I need to be thinking about, you know, going back and restocking on water or whatever. Yep, we are up to 21 katanas we found so far. And for people who are like, okay, you've got to have some like mod going, messing with your loot tables. I don't, I promise you. Just taking into consideration how many katanas you would have found by, 9.5 months. And if your answer is like 1, maybe 2, well, I have 16 times as many zombies. That would mean I'm exactly about the amount of katanas I should have, considering that.